Chris Cuomo here. Welcome to NewsNation. This is where right and left come to be reasonable, and that is not easy with the news breaking tonight. The Epstein files are finally out. Why do I put it in quotes? Because they didn't even come close to releasing everything they say they have. There's way too much, and this is so us. There's way too much of this. You know what this is? A terrible photocopy of what should be a completely black redacted page. But this is like, we can't even get this right. Anyway, there is so much redacted. There are literally countless pages that are nothing but black boxes. Okay? So no one's going to be satisfied. But here's my tease. There is one man who could answer the most vexing question, which is what? Who else knew? There is a man who says he has that list. It is not like this, and it is not in these documents, but he's refusing to offer it. Why? He's a member of Congress, and he's a Republican, and we'll talk about it. But tonight, we can also answer a bunch of questions about what is true and what is social media, a.k.a. poppycock, about the Brown and MIT murders, all right? So you're going to want to stick around for that. I also have one other quick note. In just an hour, POTUS is back on his national affordability tour in North Carolina. That's a state that he won, but very slim, could be up for grabs, okay? Now, very interesting. I don't know what he's going to say tonight. Probably what we've been hearing. But with all the nonsense news dominating the algorithms, the most important words from the president, in my opinion, in a long time, are being ignored. I bet you don't even know. Not only did the president today bring up health care costs, but he announced he is going directly to health care and insurance companies and calling them to a meet. Listen.
As of today, 14 out of the 17 largest pharmaceutical companies, but they've all agreed, have now agreed to drastically lower drug prices for their American patients, for the American people and patients. I'm going to call in the insurance companies that are making so much money, and they have to make less, a lot less. And maybe we can have reasonable health care without having to cut them out.
Do what you... Okay, so this doesn't mean it happens, or if it does happen, that anything comes of it. But just the president saying what you just heard him say is more than anyone in his party, in any position of leadership, has said about taking on the people causing the costs. And frankly, the Democrats have been in no hurry, other than on Twitter, to actually do something to the companies. Why? Same reason on both sides. The lobbying money is nuts from them and their finance buddies. That's what it is. And if you can get past the money, the jobs they control all across the country. If the president does what he just says, this could be a very big move. And if you don't like that, that's fine. But all you care about then is hating Trump, not this country getting any better. If you want the country to get better, anybody who does anything about the cost of health care should be okay with you, at least on this one. Now, I get why the media is focused on this renaming the Kennedy Center after himself. I think that's a bad move. I think it's low class. But to ignore him saying he's making a move on healthcare companies is also a bad move and low class. And it's proof that we are focused on playing gotcha with the wrong things, okay? I think, you just have to see it. So, to our top story, the Epstein files release, or the lack thereof. NewsNation's Jesse Weber is going through all the documents. That sucks. That's a sucky job. But thank you for doing it. He's liking the redactions because it means that he doesn't have to read those actual pages because they're just black. And we're going to talk to him about what he's seeing, but more importantly, what he's not seeing. Okay? I want to break down what's fact and fugazi about this new release. Okay? First, as we predicted here, okay, the story on the left is that for all the promises and the hype, it's all redactions. Why there's so many redactions? Again, you can't be surprised. You know, more people spent more time and more money redacting than we've ever heard of before. Okay, and they finished a long time ago. And then they were given extra time. So this is not a surprise, so don't act surprised. Entire pages are completely blacked out. Why even bother releasing them? It's a good question. The reason why they say they're redacting so much, I think, is fugazi. The administration says they're doing this to protect victims' identities, which I believe is BS. Why do I believe that? Because a new Fox report says that, quote, redactions were applied to politically exposed individuals and government officials. None of them are victims, at least not yet. And that's a bad fact for the administration for two reasons, okay? Here's the first reason, the law. See it on your screen? The act says no record can be withheld or delayed to spare embarrassment of rich and powerful people. It's in the language, okay? And as far as knowledge, they broke this law as written on purpose. And here's the proof.
We're going to release several 100,000 documents today. I expect that we're going to release more documents over the next couple of weeks. So today, several 100,000, and then over the next couple of weeks, I expect several 100,000 more. There's a lot of eyes looking at these, and we want to make sure that when we do produce the materials we're producing, that we're protecting every single victim.
I don't buy it. And by the way, no one's more in favor of disclosure than the survivors. He's calling them victims, survivors. I agree with the advocate community that believes that calling them survivors shows that you overcome what happened to you. Now, fact. The law says DOJ shall, not may, not when you get to it, not when you think is right. Missing the deadline is breaking the law, period, all right? The second reason that this is just a bad or BS move. So if they are redacting to spare powerful people from embarrassment, as they say, why'd they just release all these photos of Bill Clinton, former president, pictured with women, with their faces blacked out? What's the implication if the face is blacked out? That they're a survivor, right? Now, do we know that? No. Did we know it when the Democrats did it? No. Were they vague about it? Yes. This also, doing this, removes the high ground that Trump had with wanting to protect people, because that's petty. And it's out. We know why they did this. You know what the answer is, right? Why did they expose Clinton? Well, who did the Democrats expose? Trump, right? With women having their faces blacked out. This is how petty, this is how obvious and ugly politics is. Okay, even on this, even in front of everybody. Now, what's the real question for us tonight? What are you going to do about it, Congress? The law itself has no penalties on the DOJ or anybody else for missing this deadline. So it's more about political. I know Democrats have said they're going to be prosecuted. Congress can't prosecute anybody for anything. They can only investigate and refer to the DOJ. And I don't think the DOJ is going to prosecute itself for what it's deciding to do, right? This is why you have special counsels. So we're talking about political consequences, not legal ones. Normally, for me, that would mean the analysis is over, because the right is not going to go against Trump on anything, let alone this. However, the Epstein files may be different. Why? MAGA wants them. They were promised them in the campaign. This was the vindication of the deep state, of the elites, of showing that the powerful, no one is above the law. Trump put two of the main propagandists, Kash Patel and Dan Bongino, in charge of the agency with all the documents. Now, one is very quiet. Where's Kash Patel today? And the other left. And both were backpedaling faster than a pro-defensive back from what they used to say about lists and conspiracies. Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.